Well, climate finance is one of the major issues at these negotiations. And 2 years back, when the UNFCCC parties agreed in the Paris Agreement, where climate finance was also incorporated or embedded as one of the major components. And climate finance is something that has been agreed to support the developing countries address the impacts of climate change, because these impacts have been new to these developing countries. While developing countries, especially the least developed countries, are already suffering from poverty, underdevelopment, and aspects like these, the impacts of climate change have been additional to these countries, or burden to these countries. So it is the responsibility of the developed countries, or those that have the resources, to support developing countries like LDCs to address impacts of climate change. So, in the Paris Agreement also very refers. In 2009, the developed countries agreed that they would provide USD $100 billion per year by 2020 to support developing countries in the actions towards addressing climate change impacts. So here the discussions are primarily about how this fund that is going to be supported by the developing countries will be received by the developing countries, on how they are going to, what are the channels that they're going to flow, what amount of money is coming from the public sectors, what amount of money is coming from the private sectors, and how these money that is being supported or will be supported to the developing countries will be accounted for. Instance, there are developed countries are already providing huge amount of support to developing countries in terms of addressing their development needs as for the sustainable development. But in addition to that, how much is the climate finance that is coming? So primarily those accounting of those the resources on meeting the needs of the developing countries will also be discussed. Well, I come from Nepal, so I'm the part of the Nepali delegation here. And for us, as a LDC country and a vulnerable country, our ask would be that there's definitely the support going to come to a country like Nepal. But then what is more important is just not about providing support, but providing the support with ease, so that a country like mine can access the money that is coming to us easily in a very simplified process, and as far as possible directly meeting the needs of my country, the people at the vulnerable communities that the climate change impacts have been being faced by Nepal. So that will be a very key and important aspect for us.